Every day is a new beginning. Shine your light. It's a day and the world is waiting. Move along to the song, singing in your soul. Feel the beat, clap your hands, let's take control. All you need, all you want, are you ready to find your way? 'Cause every day is a new day.
Hey folks, welcome to Wisconsin Family. I'm Jessa Jeremiah.
And I'm Justin Riley, and we're really glad to have you with us today. We are at the Prairie Athletic Club here in Sun Prairie, and we're so excited to be here. This is a happening place, lots going on.
It is. You hear the music behind us. There's a class going on in front of us. There's all kinds of stuff going on upstairs. This is a big place. I highly recommend you come check it out. And later we're going to do just that. We're going to check out some of the classes that are happening. So I'm looking forward to it. We're also actually going to talk taxes. Believe it or not, it's not too soon to start planning.
Yeah, planning for taxes. Planning for taxes is really important. Getting that done before the end of the year, huge. So
yeah, John Shearer is going to give us some good savings tips in terms of how you can actually make some big dollars back on your taxes. So you might want to stick around for that.
And we're going to check in with a company that's never been on here before, Moving Forward. And what they are senior move managers, and they work with different seniors and helping them to downsize their homes and move into a more manageable space.
This is such a unique topic. I didn't know that a company like this existed, so I'm so excited to learn more, and we're going to do that just after the break, so stick around.
And welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We are so excited to be here at the Prairie Athletic Club in Sun Prairie.
Boy, are we. Lots going on.
Lots going on. It's a huge facility, and we're going to talk with the owners a little bit later about some group fitness and other opportunities here. So we're excited.
Few of the many, many things happening.
Yes, absolutely. But first, I'm really, really excited and intrigued to talk with our next guest. We are joined now by Marianne Garidi and David Guger from Moving Forward. Welcome, guys.
Thank you for having us.
So glad to have you.
Thank you.
So you guys describe yourself as a downsizing service, and you're part of the profession of move managers. What are move managers?
Sure, a senior move manager.
Senior move manager, excuse me.
No problem. It's basically there's a profession of us, senior move managers around the country, and we all were trained through the National Association of Senior Move Managers. And what that means is we actually help families that are dealing with a transition, usually like a parent who will be ready to move from their house into an independent living community. So we help them both on the physical side of moving and all the emotional side, the things that go along with moving as well.
Wow, that's actually probably a big part of that. I didn't even realize. We talked just very briefly before starting, but there's an emotional component to that too.
It's huge.
So
huge,
important to think about that. And I didn't even know, really, until meeting you, that this existed, that there was a service like this out there. How important for families going through this transition. Talk to us a little bit about that process and what kinds of steps you take in order to ensure like a seamless, smooth transition for the family.
Sure, absolutely. And once they find out that we exist, it's really a nice moment for them. So basically the way it goes is we kind of come into a home and we go through the client who's been living in the house typically 40 years. We help them sort through boxes of belongings. We bring things up from the basement, down from the attic, and we do a lot of one-on-one deciding what to keep, sell, donate. And then we do floor layout for where they're going to. We make sure the furniture they want to bring, will fit reasonably in their new apartment.
Oh, smart.
We then pack them up. We help them to move to their new location. We unpack them, get them settled in, hang the pictures, make the bed, so that by the end of the move day, they're settled in their new home. And then we typically go back to their house and we get it ready to sell. So then we sell all the items they don't want. We donate items for them. We bring in a handyman if we need to, and we work with the realtor at that point usually to do what we can to help them sell the house. So then again, the family has that closure.
That's so
it's
nice.
Two-part process.
You mentioned 40 years, so I mean that's an important, I think, thing to make a point of is that people have been in their homes for a really long time. That's what's so daunting for families about going through some of those things. Is it's a lot of years of belongings.
Absolutely.
And I'm really I'm daunted just kind of thinking about how big that process actually is, because you're not just helping them move in and then you're done.
Right.
You're going back to the house, getting it ready to sell, and that's
hanging
a big part
pictures,
of
all down to the details.
That's a big part of the process as well.
It
so,
is, right.
I'm curious to know who typically is calling you guys to enlist your services.
Sure.
Who's the one that calls?
Yeah, and although we are primarily working with the senior throughout the process, it's usually a family member who'll call us. Their kids who maybe live out of state and just being their own busy lives, they just don't have the time needed. So lots of times it'll be their kids. We work with a lot of retirement communities. So basically the marketing person or the administrator will call us because somebody wants to move in, but they think of the house and everything in their house, and they just need help making that step.
Right.
And then real estate agents are huge because people, again, they want to sell their house, but they look around and there's no way. So we're really good at kind of closing those little steps and making so they can be where they want to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like we said, how impactful for those families. And I bet even here locally, people are reaching out to you. Even if you are down the street, it's still a big task. It is a big job moving somebody, downsizing them from a larger home.
Exactly.
What do you think is the best part of this business for you being a part of it?
Sure, and I think that for me, it's I meet a client and their family, and they're very stressed. Like we walk in and you could feel the tension. Lots of times they'll have been working on this project for months or years and have gotten nowhere. And we come in and we're like, 2 weeks, we can have you moved into your new spot. The house is on the market. So by the time we leave, they feel comfortable. And then, so we see them in the very stressful moment. And then when we're finished, they're very relaxed, very happy. And that's like my favorite is like when the job is done and just seeing that they can go back to, living a nice life together.
You did that. That's got to be a good feeling.
It's really awesome.
You put that look of ease on that family's face.
So
That's so nice.
Yeah.
David, I want to ask you a question. Can you give us an example of what your typical client looks like? What they're looking like going in, and then what they're looking like and feeling like as the process is completed.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're overwhelmed.
Sure.
You can imagine if anybody moves, it's hard. But when you're older, it gets even harder. It could be a health issue that they're kind of forced into moving, and it's a panic. So, as Marianne said, we go in and try to calm them down, come up with a plan, and then just act on that plan and get it done. And typically they're pretty darn happy by the time we get done with it.
Yeah.
That's good.
And what a rewarding line of work to be in. You mentioned there's a lot of emotional aspects to this, and I think it's really smart that you know that your experience has brought you to that awareness. What do you think is the best compliment you've received?
Perhaps a client will say typically, we couldn't have done it without you. It usually ends with a handshake or a hug.
Yeah.
It really does.
I can imagine. It's a big process for folks.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're so glad that you're there to help out and to make that transition smoother. So.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you
glad
for having us.
to learn about this.
Yeah, and thanks so much for coming in, guys. This has been Marianne Garidi and David Guger from Moving Forward. Don't go away.
you.
When we come back, we'll be talking with John Shear from Trinity Financial. Stay with us.
Thanks.
'Cause every day is a new day.
Hey folks, welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We are rocking out here with John Shear from Trinity Financial Planning, and we're going to talk to him in just a second. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you.
And if you haven't noticed, we are at Prairie Athletic Club, and we are having a good time. There's some classes going on behind us, and it's a great place.
Yeah, a lot of music happening here.
There's
too.
some music,
We
yeah.
hear.
We're going to chat with those folks a little bit later. Right now, we are going to chat with Mr. John Shear, who has joined us before and given us some excellent financial advice. And today is no different. We're going to talk about taxes.
What could be more exciting than taxes, right?
Exactly. Well, if there's a return,
We could
it's
talk
very
about
exciting.
death too, if you wanted
That's
to.
right. That's right.
Death and taxes. But let's discuss taxes because we feel like it's a little ways away at this point, right? It's not too daunting just yet. But why should people be thinking about taxes now, even though returns aren't due really until spring?
Right. October is not typically the time you think to talk about taxes, but really tax preparation is what's done in the spring, and that's just recording what happened last year. This is the time of year for tax planning where we can take some action to reduce that tax bill and increase that refund you got coming in the spring.
I think people heard what you're saying there. Reduce that tax bill if there is a tax bill. We
That's
want to
right.
reduce.
Maximize the refund and everything.
Yes.
One of the things we ask people is, when's the last time your tax person came to you and said, hey Jess, I've got some ideas I think are going to save you some taxes in the spring. Let's talk about it today.
Yeah, that doesn't sound familiar actually.
Typically doesn't happen. If you
Yeah.
got somebody like that, keep them. Right? But if not, maybe you want to look for somebody who's going to be a little proactive and try to help you reduce that tax bill, because the law is always changing, and what worked last year might not work this year.
Right.
What works this year might not work next year.
Right.
So you got to keep up on that.
I think that's why it's so important to have advice, is because of everything's always changing. So even if you are knowledgeable in the field at one snapshot moment, that doesn't mean that next year you're going to have the same knowledge base.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
So what type of tax planning should people be considering right now?
Well, one of the big things we look for is changes in income. If you've got a big year in income, if your business did well or you made some big sales, if you're a salesperson, we look to accelerate deductions into this year to take the deductions at that higher tax bracket. On the other side, if you've had a lower income year, maybe your business didn't do as well, or you had some unique write-offs, that's a time to defer deductions into next year, or even accelerate income in some cases if you have a particularly low year from a tax standpoint, from an income standpoint.
Okay.
So that's one of the big things we look for people is, are there changes in your income that we can take advantage of?
Interesting.
The other one that we look for with a lot of people is taking advantage of your retirement plan contributions. For every dollar you put into your 401k or 403b, you save 25 or 30 cents in taxes. So that can be a way for people who have some extra money to be able to defer at the end of the year from a retirement and a tax standpoint.
All these things I have no idea about, so I'm glad we're talking about this today. Maybe give some examples in your experience with everything that you're talking about, some real examples of real folks who have saved some good money doing these things.
Sure, you bet. Well, like one of the other things is taking advantage of deductions and making sure you track those things. We use a book called Deduct It for helping our clients keep track of their clothing and other things that they give to charity.
Okay.
And so as an example, I have a person whose husband died last year, and she was giving some things to some of the clothes, and she said, boy, I've probably got $500 or more in things that I've given of his clothes. When we took a look through this book, it was just this week, there's over $3,000 in deductions that she takes because she's accurately recording what those things are and what the values of those things are.
And is that what this is? You can actually track it in this, or is this a way for you to check against what
it's a tracker, so you list the number of things. You know, a men's jacket is worth between $12 and $40 depending on the quality of it. And so you actually record and document those things.
Because trying to remember at the end of the year what you've done, you think you're going to remember everything, but
That's right.
Just no way.
Another example is that we've got a client who's retired and her house is paid off, and so her itemized deductions each year for her taxes and donations to charity are just above the standard deduction that everybody gets. So what we're having her do is, rather than paying her things each year, we're having her double up and bunch her deductions. So she paid her property taxes in January, she's going to pay them again in December. She made her donations to charity this year, and in December we're going to make next year's donations and write those checks in December, so she gets all the credit in 1 year. So she's still paying the same amount of money, but she's going to get about an extra $6,000 or $7,000 in deductions over 2 years by doing that, just by timing on things and taking advantage of the law.
I feel like every time we talk to John, I have like an aha moment. You know, it's incredible.
Well, and every time we've talked, I think that as far as taxes go, timing really is a really important part of tax planning. And you know, you have mentioned to me before that tax smart moves need to be done by the end of the year, by December 31st. What things can be done after year end to save more money on taxes?
I mean, that's exactly the point about the December 31st, is most things are by the end of the year, so you really got to be proactive now.
Right.
If we get to the end of the year and you get to tax time, the big one that you can still do is an IRA contribution. And that, you can do that until your tax return is due. So there's still some things, if you qualify for one. That's the big one, but most of the things are a 12/31 deadline, so your donations to charity, your property taxes, those are decisions you have to make before the end of the year.
Okay, so timing is key there. And real quick before we go, any other tricks of the trade that you want to leave folks with?
You know, I think the big thing is just to be proactive on things and get some advice and take a look at what it means now, because by the time we get to tax time, it's too late to make any changes on things.
So smart.
And do keep track. And these sorts of things where you can, you know, you're already doing this to take advantage of that. We've got some extra copies of this book, and if for the first 25 people that come to our website, we'll send a copy to this. Anybody that wants to sign up and ask for this, if they saw it on our show here.
That's a neat book. And John has a fantastic, I want to brag on your website for a second. We were just saying that before we started. An excellent website, a great place to start, and a great resource, don't you think?
Yeah, you got a great blog that you do.
Yeah.
Of course, you post all of our videos here.
That's right.
Not that we're biased.
Not that we're biased.
No, not at all. Well, John Shearer, Trinity Financial Planning, go to his website, give him a call. Thanks so much for the advice. We appreciate it.
All right, thanks so much,
We'll have you
guys.
back, as you know. And we'll be back with more Wisconsin Family. We're going to chat with the folks here at Prairie Athletic Club. That'll be next after the break. Stick around.
Hey folks, welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We're here at the Prairie Athletic Club, and I'm standing next to Craig Kuchenbecker, who works for CrossFit Voltus, which exists inside of Prairie Athletic Club. Welcome, Craig.
Thank you.
Good to have you with us today.
Yeah.
So what is CrossFit?
So CrossFit is a way of working out. A lot of people call it the sport of fitness.
Okay.
So it's a competitive nature or a competitive way of working out. It's also a teamwork building way of working out. So it's just a way of working out, so to speak.
Excellent. And so what would make somebody want to choose CrossFit over another way of working out?
So it's unique in a couple ways. One way it's unique because you have that same type of high energy, high intensity feel that a lot of people like with their workouts nowadays. The thing that's very unique about CrossFit, especially CrossFit Voltus, is we build a large community around it. So we're a tight-knit community around our workouts. So our tagline at CrossFit Voltus is, it's more than just a workout, it's a community. And so we really hold true to that in several aspects.
And you guys have a few community events that you're doing. Can you talk to us a little bit about those real quick?
So within our community of CrossFit Voltus, we build that as a strong team that goes out and helps our local community as well. So we've participated, hosted several charity events that have well surpassed even $40,000 of money raised for some different charities. We've done things for wounded veterans. We've done things for even local people within our community. We have a few things coming up for lymphoma in mid-November, and then even our local education foundation in mid-December. So definitely some things to check out within our community.
CrossFit Voltus, just one of the many options here at Prairie Athletic Club. Craig, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, you got it.
We're going to go over to Jessa right now, who's talking with Chris Thompson. Jessa?
Thanks, Justin. I'm standing here now with Chris Thompson of Prairie Athletic Club, and we're going to talk a little bit about triathlon teams and what that means in terms of multiple sports. So thanks for joining me.
Sure. Thank you.
And well, thanks for having us here, really. It's been a
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about what a tri team consists of for folks who don't know at home.
Okay, the Prairie Athletic Club Tri-Team consists of a great gamut of athletes. There's athletes that actually have no athletic ability to athletes who have been doing triathlons for 30 years. So it's ages 10 to 70 plus years old. Some of them have never competed on a team, but what a triathlon is in general is a swim, bike, and run,
Right.
Kind of a race. But our tri-team is a multi-sport team, so we have athletes that just swim, possibly, or just bike, or run, or maybe do a relay on a triathlon.
Oh, okay, interesting. So you can potentially just do one of the components in and of itself. Why did you start a team like this?
I started the team because I myself did triathlon, and it was just the community of athletes was just amazing. It incorporates every type of person, again, ages from youth to older, and that's what the Prairie Athletic Club's all about is, family fitness. So I just felt like it was a great fit, and I had a great passion for this sport, and just for people that have never been a part of a team to be able to celebrate their accomplishments and just be encouraged by others and the accountability. And
it's a labor of love for you,
Yes,
I can
it
tell.
is.
You really enjoy it. And before we head over to Justin, what does Prairie Athletic Club have to offer the endurance athlete specifically?
we have master swim classes, we have indoor cycling classes where we bring our bikes in the wintertime and we have a coach-led workout. We do indoor triathlons that start in January. We are bringing back the children's triathlon that will be here in July.
Wow.
So that's
Lots to do.
Yes.
We could talk to you probably all day, but we got to get back over to Justin, so we'll be right back. Justin?
Thank you.
Thanks, Jessa. I'm joined now by Kevin Feiner, who is a sports performance trainer with Elite Sports Performance, another entity that exists within Prairie Athletic Club. Kevin, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here today. So what ages do you start working with as far as athletes? You work with a lot of athletes.
We start working with ages 8 and up.
Okay.
So what we do is we separate those age groups, 8 to 10-year-olds, 11 to 14-year-olds, and 15 to 18-year-olds.
Oh, okay, so you have different age groups, but you work with primarily youth athletes then, it sounds like.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to work with mainly kids that are playing multiple sports and things like that kind of learn how to move their body and how to be athletic.
Sure, absolutely. And what sports do you specialize in?
We don't necessarily specialize in sports. What we do is we specialize in trying to make these kids into athletes, trying to maximize their potential as athletes, because there's a lot of kids that do a lot of just focusing on one sport.
Right.
We're going to try and make that focus a little bit more on trying to make sure that they're doing things properly the right way.
Yeah, it's a lot of cross-training, it kind of sounds like.
You got it.
Yeah, awesome. And how do the training routines differ from between different ages?
So based on different ages, our younger group, our single A group from 8 to 10 years old, they're going to be a little bit easier. They're going to work out as a group. But then as we start getting to older kids, they're going to have sort of their program that's designed specifically for that athlete. We're not going to just send them, here's a workout. It's going to be, here's a workout for you. That's what's going to make you better as an athlete.
It's kind of catered towards their individual needs.
Absolutely.
That's great. Kevin Feiner, thank you so much for the information today.
Thank you.
We'll head over to Jessa, and she's going to talk with Melissa. Jessa.
Thanks so much, Justin. I'm joined now by Melissa Sebastian. We're going to be talking about some of the group fitness here and primarily how it's different from some of the other programs we've heard about so far. Can you share that with us?
Sure. The best thing about group fitness is it's just fun. We like to have fun. When you come to class, it's you come in class and you're just having a blast and you forget that you're working out. It's
That's
just
the
the
best.
music and the lights and the instructor and all the people around you, and it's just a way to kind of let go of your day and not have to think about what's coming next and just to have a good time.
And what kinds of classes? Give us a quick rundown of what you have, or some of them, an example.
Sure. We have Les Mills programs, which means all of our classes are pre-choreographed to music. We have everything from body pump, body combat, we have TRX classes, we also have core ball classes, fast, we have a class called fast, we have hot yoga, which is amazing, we have a great hot yoga studio we just built, so pretty much something for everybody.
So many great classes, and we just got to touch on it, but where can people go for more information about all these classes we've talked about today?
Absolutely. You can go to our website at any time. We have a drop-down menu that can give you all the information you need about anything that anybody's talked about today.
Perfect. This is Melissa Sebastian, one of the fabulous instructors here at Prairie Athletic Club, and we've so enjoyed being here. Thanks for having us.
Yes,
Thanks
thank
to
you.
all of our guests for joining us. Thank you for watching. Please join us next time for Wisconsin Family.